Oh, we got a beautiful Sunday. I'm getting outside. I just posted 186, and I want to jump right on next week's show. Because, as I told you last week, I was going out Saturday morning to get the haircut. It's not far from where I do a lot of my grocery shopping, so after the haircut, I ran around, I got my stuff for the week, and I sprang. I've been thinking about this for a very long time. I see it all over Instagram. I see it on Facebook. People talk about it. They do it. I guess it was in his book. I was trying to find a video of him actually talking about it himself. I couldn't find one. If anybody knows about it, post it in the comments. But it's Tony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain, the late great chef and writer, fantastic writer, said his favorite sandwich, mortadella, cooked in a little butter, crisped up, on a roll with provolone, mayonnaise, and mustard. Simple, simple, simple. Sounds amazing. I'm a big fan of mortadella, so I picked up some good Italian mortadella and some nice provolone at an excellent cheese shop. So let's start. We need the rolls. Let's bake up some sandwich rolls and do this Tony Bourdain favorite sandwich. Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. All right, I got 3 cups of bread flour in here. That's King Arthur bread, the blue and white. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add a 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. And notice I'm going to put the sugar and yeast on the opposite side from the salt. A lot of bread recipes, they don't even have you adding the salt until, after the knead. It can inhibit the yeast a little. But we're going to put everything in together at once. This is fast rise yeast. You're going to add the same amount as the sugar. 1.5 teaspoons, and I'll put it right on top of the sugar because it wants to eat that sugar. Teaspoon and a half. Got 1 egg. And 3/4 cup of water. Simple, simple dough. Just mix that all together. If you like making bread at home, great tool, the Danish whisk. Highly recommend it. Okay, we just want to get that mixed, and now we're going to put it on and knead it for about 5 minutes. Put it on, I'll start with 2. Nice gentle knead, 5 minutes. Okay, that was 5. Now, I'm just going to let it rest for 10 minutes. Let that absorb. And then I'll knead for another 5. So, I'll see you in 10. Actually, you don't need to see that again. I'll wait to 10, I'll knead for 5, and then I'll see you. Okay, I rested it for 10, and that was the second 5 on the knead. So now let's transfer to this rising bucket. I've got some oil in there, and we'll pop the cover on this and just let it sit right out here for an hour or so. Let it rise up. I'm going to head outside, get some work done. See you all in an hour. Sandwich rolls. It's been about an hour, so let's take our dough. Puffed up nicely, just about doubled. Let's get we don't want to add much more flour to it. This is just for the board to keep it from sticking down. So let's get it out. we're going to cut it into 6 pieces. Let's do thirds, like so. If I wanted them really even, I'd weigh them. You know, I'd weigh the whole dough and then calculate, divide by 6. But I'm just going to eyeball it because, to be honest with you, sometimes you want a nice big hefty roll for a sandwich, sometimes a little one. So they don't all have to be the exact same size. Now I'm just going to form them into little balls. I don't want to knock too much air out of them. See, look at this guy's going to be a little guy. This one, a little heftier. Going underneath, trying to tighten that bottom. Rolls are so simple to make. They take a couple of hours, so you can do it on a Saturday afternoon. You can do it when you get home from work in the evening. And then they freeze really great. So look at this. I don't eat a lot of bread. But when I want a sandwich, I'll have rolls in the freezer. All right, I'm going to get a sheet pan and put some parchment on it. Let's get our rolls on here. Give them a little room to expand. And these will do a second little rise, about an hour or so. So I'm going to cover them with a towel. And I'm heading out to the yard. I'll see you all in about an hour. All right. There's no way I'm coming on camera now until I get a shower. I've been outside, pruning the front hedges, bought myself a nice wood chipper. Boy, is that coming in handy. Look at our rolls. All right, right in, 425. The oven's preheated. Let's head over to the oven. 4 1/4, let's go. Some of these are going to bake into each other, but I don't want to try to move them or I'll degas them. So in they go. They'll split apart nicely. And then let's set the timer for 15 and we'll have a look. Usually 15 to 17 is good. So 15 minutes. I'm going to put the light on. I like keeping an eye on them. All right, we'll check them in 15. Okay, that's the timer. Let's see what we got. 15 minutes. Oh, baby, they look perfect. Nice, quick sandwich buns. Let's get them up here. Oven off. Let me bring the camera up. Super hot. I'm going to transfer them up to this rack. Yeah, nice and hollow. And look at the different sizes, just like I was saying. I think this guy is going to be our Tony Bourdain sandwich. Just got to let them cool. It is 2 p.m. I've been outside. All I had was a little bit of oatmeal this morning, so I'm about ready for some late lunch. So let's let these cool and we'll fire up that sandwich. Well, I never did get around to that late lunch. It's 6:30. I haven't eaten. I was outside all day. Whew, baby, in the hot sun. Did a lot of stuff. Mowed the big lawn. Did some more pruning out front. Wood chipping. Harvested all the garlic. This is not all the garlic. These are only the ones I took the outer skins off so I can hang and cure. There's about 35 more out there that I have to deal with. But that's not happening tonight. It's time for supper. Now, what I did do is thanks to our library, they have this Hoopla system where you can get books on the phone, audio books, it's great. So I went on, I found the Anthony Bourdain book. It's called Appetizer or Appetizers or something. It's a cookbook. It looks great. I might have to actually buy it. Anyway, I found the sandwich in there, and I don't know I got turned on to this online by people talking about it. I had never heard of it. I don't know where these people came up with his favorite sandwich. I didn't. I just read the whole recipe in the book. There was nothing about favorite. He has a chapter on great sandwiches. He goes through it. We've done many on the show. He does a oyster poor boy, sausage and peppers. Ooh, we haven't done that yet. So he just says it's a great sandwich. He got turned on to it in Sao Paulo in Brazil, and he talks about it. But I didn't say anything about it being his favorite sandwich. But anyway, it sounds great. And now I read the chapter. So instead of going by these other YouTubers and people online and this and that and the other, no. I just read the book 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to recreate it based on reading it out of the Bourdain book. Let's get over to the stove and make this sandwich. I am hungry. All right, we're going to do this on the griddle, on the stove. I've got it heating up. Let's take a look at our roll, see how we did. They certainly look good from the outside. There were 6 of them. I showed you this was the one I picked. I think it was the biggest one. And I put another one aside for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to make some tuna salad in the morning. And the other 4 are in the freezer. A nice freezer bag. Oh, it's perfect. It's beautiful. I just don't know how bread, this whole thing, I don't eat carbs. I'm not eating carbs. I don't know how bread became so evil. Well, I think I do know. Corporate America, among other things. If you make your own bread, A, there's nothing to be afraid of. B, you'll be very, very happy. So, there's the roll. Here's the mortadella, the star of the show. I got this at Louise on Route 28. Great little cheese shop. Used to be owned by my neighbor Rick. He just recently sold and retired, and the new guy's doing a bang-up job. And here's the provolone. You gotta have a little quality control snackage here. I haven't eaten since 8:30 this morning. Well, not true. I had a couple of bites of like piece of mozzarella, stuffed pepper. Okay. The homemade butter. Little mustard. I've got the stone ground. It's not exactly Dijon, which he mentions, but it'll work. And I do have homemade mayo in the fridge, but I'm going with the old standby because I don't want to mess with this. I want to do it. I don't know what they would have had in Brazil for mayonnaise, but you kind of can't go wrong with Hellmann's. So I just reread it from Bourdain, so I'm going to show you what he said in this book, Appetizer, or Appetizers. So you want to make 2, for one sandwich we're going to make 2 mounds. This is only a 1/4 pound of mortadella. Looks like a lot of meat. It's sliced very, very thin. So I'll probably use all of it. Now, we're going to make, so see what I'm doing? I'm making little bundles, but we actually want, we're going to sear the outside on the griddle, but you want air pockets and stuff. So fold it, keep it kind of loose. I'm looking at the roll, so I want to make it fit on there. But the idea of this is the outside's going to sear, but the inside's going to stay nice and juicy and plump. So let's make 2 of these little bundles. Griddle's getting nice and hot. Tell you, I watched about 5 different people doing this, and they didn't even read the book. They weren't even close, to tell you the truth. So I'm glad. Thank you, Hoopla, Mid-Hudson Library System. All right, let's bring this over to the griddle and get started. Just going to drop a little bit of olive oil on the grill. The plain olive oil, not the extra virgin. And you know what? I probably should be using the vent hood for this, but Not gonna bother. It's just one sandwich. So let's get these on. Oh, music. Now, press down a little is what Mr. Bourdain says in his book, because you want to sear these. You want to get a nice crispy brown on the outside, but inside it's going to stay nice and moist. And he says to serve immediately with a cold beer, which I do not have. But it's Sunday. Did all my consumption last night. My boy came over with Aperol Spritz. Had a beautiful evening, shooting the crap. Had a few laughs. Okay, while that's going. Now, there's no real mention of the butter in his book, but I'm going to do the roll. So I'm going to take a little liberty. Just put a touch of butter on there. Toast up the roll just a tad. He does say the toasting part. I didn't read anything about butter. He might just do it in the fat left over from the mortadella. Oh, look at that. That's what we're talking about. So now, all right, that's the hotter part of the griddle, obviously. So we'll give that another flip in a moment. But this one can get some provolone. It's obviously the hot spot right there. Rolls look fine. There we go. There's a little color. Let's top it. Accept my apology. I'm so excited. I barely looked at the camera frame and realized the roll was completely out of frame back there. All right, nice and toasty now. Let's bring it over here and we'll get the mayo. Be generous with that. Get some mustard on there. Okay. Let's get our sandwich together. Number one. Number two. Oh. Let's give this thing a try. See what all the fuss is about. It's a great sandwich. There's no question about it. I don't know if it was his favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's damn good. We'll see you for the next episode. Come on, let's do it.